say a family wants to come in and they're thinking about, the adoption side of things. Cats and dogs, all these different options and how to work like that. And then like a lot of times, pets are also like status symbols, and so people have all these like bougie breeds and you got all these things and, they just every day there's a new one that they crossed with a poodle and there's there's that whole side of it. They're cute. Like I got tons of friends that have all these little different animals that, they're like little teddy bears. And, my wife will show me puppies and be like, hey, like these are cute. And, like you got a $5,000 puppy and then you've got a humane society that has tons of animals that need families. And the support and the way that they've been vaccinated and cared for and spayed and neutered and all these different things. Like how do you bridge that dynamic for people, about finding a companion? Cause the mindset, and I'm one of these, the mindset is like, those are prison dogs. You know what I mean? Like those are rough necks, man. Like that's, that's prisoner release. I tell my sister that all the time. I'm like, I'm not coming in your fence. Cause you got all these felons in there and, like they're going to gang up on me and they're intimidating looking dogs. Like there's a lot
absolutely.
like, she has a gaggle of like 3 of them that are, some kind of, pit mix, something like, and again, I'm not an animal person, like in that world, like everything I say, I'm like, that was like a pit bull to me, and like, and they're a little bit aggressive.
Well, in an animal shelter, most of what we see are pits.
Yeah.
It's just the reality of how it is. But also, a lot of them aren't. I am not against purebred dogs. I have 2 purebred dogs myself. However, I will say, go to a shelter first. We get purebred dogs all the time at our shelter. I mean, it used to be more rare when I first started there 7 years ago. It wasn't super common that we would have them, but now regularly, I would say on a monthly basis, we get a French bulldog. We have doodles, poodle mixes all the time. They're always on the floor. So those desirable breeds are at shelters for a lower price than you're going to get at a breeder. And the reason for that is, it's good to have, some people like a certain breed for a certain reason. It might have different characteristics that they're looking for their lifestyle. A lot of people don't know that when they adopt these dogs. They might get a doodle because it's cute and it's trendy right now, but then when they get it, they're hyper.
Yeah.
They can be a little neurotic. So they spend all this money on this dog and it ends up in the shelter anyway. So always, even if there's a breed you like, check at the shelter first. Good chances you're going to have it.
Yeah.
A lot of shelters, I know our shelter does, we have what we call the BFF program. So if you go and you're like, I really want a German short hair pointer, you go, you look, we don't have one. You can add your name to the BFF list for that breed. If we get one in, we'll call you. You get first dibs.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And even dogs like that, we get German short hairs all the time.
Yeah, I imagine that, especially in Greenville, right?
Yeah.
Like with all the growth that's happened in the last 7 years, last 20 years, there's probably a bigger influx of people who probably are doing that. They move here with a breed that's not conducive to the new place they're at, or they're moving away. And like, like you probably like, I can't even imagine. Like, I never look at it from this perspective. Again, like I'm not an animal person that's just indebted into this lifestyle, but like, I want to highlight some of it. And like, it's fun for me because like I'm learning too. But like the need and where all these animals come from, because it's probably different now than it used to be, where, animal control's going around picking up these aggressive dogs that have been on attack and all these different things. And like, in my mind, I'm like, that's pound puppy. Right. And then, but there's a bunch of different circumstances around how those animals come in.
Absolutely. So we get our animals 50-50, half are owner surrenders and half we get from partner shelters. The majority of the animals we get in from partner shelters, we know nothing about. Sometimes we'll know what their mama was. Sometimes we know nothing about them. But most of the time, those are puppies. They're moldable. You can make them what you want them to be. And puppies in our shelter, they don't stay very long. Right. So if it's a puppy in our shelter, it's going to find a home, and we're going to trust that it's in a home that's going to give it the training it needs, the love that it needs to be a good, well-rounded animal. Owner surrenders, more likely than not, are adults. And some of those come from fantastic homes. Most of them do. And they have been loved their whole lives. And maybe they are being surrendered because their owner died and the family can't take care of it. They're moving away. Housing situations change. Things like you mentioned. Those animals, they come in, they might get a little shut down and sad in the shelter, but they don't have any major behavioral issues and they'll be fine. And then there is the third part where we will have some animals that have some major behavioral issues. They might have some aggression issues. They might just be completely shut down to people. Some of these animals are from the streets. They may have never been touched by a human before. They don't know what it feels like to be loved. However, we have a team at the Humane Society. It's our behavior and enrichment team, and these are trained, certified dog trainers, and they spend all of their full-time jobs with these animals that are harder to place, that may have more issues, and they teach them. They teach all of our dogs basic training, sit, stay, all the little commands you want a dog to come with. Most of our adult dogs are adopted out with those basic manners already.
That's really cool.
And the ones that have better, like I said, the deeper, worse issues, we work with them the best we can, and we have a very, very good rehabilitation rate.